Hello everybody, welcome to a brand new Let's Play series in Hearts of Iron 4 Kaiserredux, specifically the Kaiserredux mod, which is basically just Kaiserredux with a handful of sub-mods included within it. You can get it on the Steam Workshop right now, but today, we are going to be playing New England, and particularly, we are going to be playing the Lovecraftian version of New England, just because it's gotta be by far, like, the weirdest, like, it's the strangest country I think you could possibly play as. And I think there might be like some weird events that might happen a little bit later into the tree. We'll find out soon enough. It also allows us to kind of finish up our American Civil War factions. We played CSA, we played the United States, we played the American Union State, we played the Pacific States. We're never playing Hawaii or Puerto Rico, so like don't even worry about those two. But New England would be the final country that we haven't played, and this kind of gives us the opportunity to kind of finish that off. So first national focus is going to be probably just America's Darkest Hour. We get a little bit of legitimacy, 15% stability. I mean, we're at 50% actually. That's not too bad. Your 42-day focus. How long are these focuses? 35-day. Pretty fast as well, which is actually quite nice. So take our Army and Navy experience. And where do we actually see our legitimacy? We need legitimacy more than 40. Pacific states cannot exist. Okay, so we'll worry about that in the future. But I think I have tested this out, so I know we're actually on the exact right track to get the events proper. The Provisional Government of New England. Thanks to our allies in Canada, we set up a provisional government in Boston as we pray to liberate the rest of our country. Unfortunately, not many people, both in and out of the states of New England, believe that we are the true and legitimate America. We must rectify this problem. Which gives us 10 political power. And the new Governor General. So in order to, for New England, you have to play as Canada to begin with. And when you're playing as Canada, when you get the option to release New England, you have to take the ensure loyalty focus. If you just allow a normal provisional government, you will not get this option. You have to put in Prince Albert here to ensure loyalty to the crown. At which point people will rise up against you, specifically Lovecraft. So, new Governor General. Canada's ordered the appointment of Governor General to oversee New England. With many within New England had hoped that New England would become a full republic once independent. Although the hopes to appear have been dashed. For now, we will embrace democracy and are marginally independent from Canada. However, this is a worrying sign for things to come. Perhaps Canada could impose its complete will on us. The position of Governor General has been handed to Prince Albert, second in line to the throne, and brother of current King Edward VIII. He will guide New England, yet has no power, just like in Australia or India. However, many elite members of society want to do away with this and instead install Albert as King of New England. We are loyal to the crown. So in a few days, maybe a week or two, this should we should get an event of fire, which is going to be kind of like a rebellion event. Also, we probably want to get our research lots done as well. So what do you want? We are going to be doing it's 937, and we have most of the text that I did research as Canada. So there's actually not too much we need to get started on, I think. We will go for, I guess we'll go for like the 1939 industry tax. It's a little bit of a strange choice, but I think that's kind of like the best we have, even though they're extremely expensive. We're in a position for 0, 4, and 11. We have a lot of civilian factories. We do definitely need more military factories. There's no doubt about that. I'll start building up some convoys. A navy, I don't think is going to matter too much. Do not be on the entire border with Canada. Just be on the border with the CSA here. We'll worry about you in a second. Division basic training. We have a lot of templates that I think we inherit from the Canadians. And a bunch of them are probably just complete garbage, so we're just going to completely ignore those. We have our militia brigades. We have the National Guard. I want all of you to at least be the National Guard. No, you actually are already the National Guard. Oh, you're the garrison template. Okay, never mind. We will duplicate you and just throw actual infantry, because infantry are going to be significantly better than these kind of garbage militia units we have at the moment. So infantry. We have an engineering company. That's fine. Save this up. Start training at least 2 of those. I know we don't have any support equipment. Do we have anything, actually? The answer, I think, is no. We start with 0 equipment across the board. Not fantastic, but it could be significantly worse. We'll get our troops to the front line. We are in the Entente. I don't know how long that's going to last, however. But if you can stay within the Entente Alliance, that could give us a big boost against the American factions in the war to come. What are you wanting? Current motion we'll be voting on. What are you voting on? Oh, this is for the Legation Council. I don't care about the Legation Council in any way, shape, or form. We don't, I think, need to worry about the Navy stuff. I think we're just going to save up all of our political power for, you know, these kind of reforms here. But God save the King of New England. Oh, wait, God save the King, the new King. Weeks ago, Prince Albert of Windsor was sworn in as the Governor General by the Canadian-led court. A majority noble and aristocratic board of advisors run New England from the shadows, while Albert feels free to disregard the will of the Hartford Convention. Today, though, a stunning turn of events was witnessed when Governor General Albert of Windsor was officially crowned as King of New England. Nobles and Canadians rejoice as the citizens scorn. King Albert of Windsor has officially regarded the Republic dead, as it essentially becomes an absolute monarch. God save the King? I'm sure that's fine. Does that automatically complete the focus here? It does not, but because we've been saving up, it should automatically complete anyways. So what are we going to build? We are going to build up a handful of military factories in Massachusetts because we want at least somewhat away from the front line. We've got some more decisions available. We won't worry about that quite yet. French loyalists have restored the monarchy. Everybody's going monarchist today, which is fantastic news or bad news, depending on how you want to look at it. So, like, what do we actually have here? I have looked at some of these things. Some of them seem pretty good. Eldritch Signs, Organization Recovery Rate goes up. You are modify the New England Civil War. Yeah, because as soon as we become Lovecraft, there's going to be like a slight civil war in New England as more people are upset with our rule. But we don't got to worry about that too much. So the Boston Massacre. As tensions stir in New England, the most radical of the Anglophiles have been drawn to the side of the loyal coalition headed by H.P. Lovecraft. Lovecraft and a small group of writers have taken to the city of Providence to plot. However, anything coming out of this is unlikely due to Lovecraft's seclusion. The Irish in New England have begun to take arms as they believe that the radical Anglophiles will soon drive them out. These tensions that have been simmering below the surface finally erupted today when protests erupted in Boston over the coronation of the autocratic king. Most New Englanders have declared Canada and the Windsors illegitimate. People have been in uproar and violence has been widespread. The largest of the protests have been in Boston, the nation's capital, as the Irish and the England take up arms against each other. Canada desperately tries to bring stability to New England to no avail. In the end, Canada may take sides in what is rapidly becoming a civil war. If such a war is to occur within New England, Canada is on the most radical Anglophiles to ensure that Canada's rule over New England is secure. The citizens have stormed Parliament, which should get us where we need to be. So we basically have a civil war within a civil war. So we got the greater context of America. They're at war, and then in little old New England, we're also going to be having a major war. So Canada has support of the Pacific government. That does not matter whatsoever. We already have 130 political power, which is actually quite nice. Let's go immediately up to early mobilization. And New England's the last hope. After the massacre in Boston, New England fell into anarchy. James Curley and his armies seized the north as loyalists fled south, and from the loyalists rose an unexpected figure. H.P. Lovecraft rose to the favor of all of the pure Anglos in New England and rallied the Providence Circle together with the loyalists to wage war against the... There's a lot of spelling mistakes in this. To wage war against the impure traders of the north. A civil war has erupted. Providence's new crusade against the impure. This comes as a shock not to just the people of New England, but the world, as Lovecraft's isolation and paranoia has made it almost impossible for him to achieve any sort of political power. However, something has changed in Lovecraft. Perhaps he knows that he is near death, or perhaps that the overwhelming hatred for the Irish Catholics drove him. Whatever the case may be, Lovecraft and his allies in the loyal coalition marched to Boston, the center of the Irish scourge. There, Lovecraft and his allies within the Providence Circle are expected to make an address, a prospect that terrifies the timid Lovecraft. As a small group of writers and loyalists quickly assume control of the nation, Canada sends their full support to the new Providence government, as they see and be the only hope to secure New England under Canadian and Anglo rule. Only Lovecraft can save us now. So what do we get? Political power goes down, stability goes down, Christian resistance, stability goes down by 50%. That seems actually horrible. And we also get that daily radical socialist and daily social democrat support. We lose cores on a bunch of territory, and a lot of things become demilitarized. So it's not a great situation, I will admit. So I think you are all demilitarized at the moment. But triumph of the Providence Circle. We get 100 political power. Party support increases massively. And I don't think you guys can really go... Can you even have a front line at all? You can maybe have one in this province. And that might be about it. So yeah, let's get a 5-1 in charge here. And then we're going to assign you because you're the only field marshal. Yeah, that's basically the only place you can be. The front line is so short that you actually cannot even see it. What are the chances we're going to be invading New York City? Right now, pretty low, I will admit. By the way, how do you feel about us? 170 opinion, you know, that's not too bad. Lovecraft and Mackenzie King. It's always important for New England to have a strong relationship with our Canadian allies, and thusly meetings with the Canadian government officials is the norm. A recent meeting was with Lovecraft and Canadian Prime Minister William Lloyd Mackenzie King to discuss the border and the reclamation of the home isles. In this meeting, the two men officially talked politics, diplomacy, and trade between New England and Canada. However, in private, the conversation took a different tone. Mackenzie King is a well-known believer in the spiritual and the unknown, and has taken a particular liking to Lovecraft spiritualism and the works. And in private, the conversation shifted from political to the paranormal and supernatural. Lovecraft and King talked at great length about spirits, ghosts, and other paranormal occurrences. Rumor even had that King and Lovecraft had a seance. Communicate with the spirits of the late King George V to ask him for guidance on reclaiming the home isles. So even in the two may not agree politics, their belief in the unknown may strengthen the nation's bonds in these trying times. I mean, that seems pretty good. When I chose the Canadian Prime Minister, I just kind of chose who was already in charge. I did not expect there to be any kind of spirituality there. So Mackenzie King, I know we can't really see you here, but I'm glad we're friends. And I'm also not so glad we have negative 14% stability. I would actually go as far as say is it's kind of not great. Actually pretty bad. I mean, everything here is pretty low. You guys will deploy to Boston. I mean, what effects do we have? We have Christian resistance, we have New England Civil War, and support for the Pacific government. So actually nothing too crazy there. Doesn't seem like we're getting affected by Black Monday. We're not getting affected by like the Great Depression, all that kind of stuff. Just ignore it. It's nice. It's not a big deal. So what do we have in this tree? We do have this. We can only do Into the World after we've done, I believe, Masters of the Sea. Yes, we have to do Masters of the Sea before we can actually do any of this stuff. One of them is basically becoming Blackstock of the Americas, which is similar to the Switzerland campaign we did. Or show them the light, in which we kind of get an annexation war goal against the entirety of the United States. Which I think makes the most amount of sense, because this is just becoming very isolationist. Which doesn't seem as fantastic. So once you're done, what do we want to go for? So social democracy, market liberal, and conservatism goes down. More support for the party. Manpower goes down by 100. And infrastructure in every single state goes down by 2, which is probably less than ideal. We remove Christian resistance from here. The old gods are dead. Long live the new gods. Long live the ancient one. And all those who succeed him. So you gain all-seeing, all-knowing, which is a bunch of political power against stability. I mean, most of this stuff, Delta Green, war support goes up. Division of garrisons. The defense on core territory is pretty nice. 5,000 manpower. Organization, a little bit of recruited population. No, you actually just boost our conscription law. Okay. Day of the New Daggers. Nation of Madness is kind of what follows at the end. So there's a lot of pretty decent stuff. The naval dockyards aren't that great. They're actually kind of bad. Mostly because we don't really want to be spending too much resources on getting our... Like, our navy is not... I mean, 200% for nuclear technology is actually extremely good. You can probably get nukes like very early. 3 times 100 for naval doctrine. 2 times 200% for submarines. So we either want to... So you remove Christian resistance. I'm assuming you remove... I mean, what's more important? Removing Christian resistance or the Civil War? Probably Christian resistance, because it's significantly worse. It's actually horrible. So you know what? Let's just destroy Christianity. Just you know, on a whim. I guess mostly the Catholics, I guess. The cults of the past. The new order has taken hold, yet few holdout patriots nostalgic for the days of the Republic remain. As for these Republicans, how can one regard seriously a frightened, greedy, nostalgic huddle for tradesmen and lucky idlers who shut their eyes to history and science, steal their emotions against the... Steal their emotions? Steal? Anyway. Against decent human sympathy, cling to sordid and provincial ideals. This is pretty long, actually. I mean, it depends how long this is. There's a lot of text. There's so much stuff in here. Yada yada yada. Single detail of unrestricted economic license. The fact that without human existence, intellectually, the Republican idea deserves the tolerance. Yeah, basically get rid of all that. See the world burn. They're all just very long. Well, whoever made the tree definitely put like a lot of thought into it. Also, the Commune of France is red in the mod, just so you know. You're gonna demand some territory from the Swiss. What are you guys actually doing? Nothing too crazy. That I can tell, like nothing out of the ordinary for now. I'm not too sure. You're declaring martial law. Does that turn you, Okay, Spanish Civil War. Spain has fallen. Hopefully the song that's playing right now is not copyrighted. But, it actually goes on for quite a while, huh? We can join the IAC, so we'll do that. Should get us some more, support here. You know, we can just go up to partial mobilization right away as well. Get our industry going ASAP. Makes even 9 factories, which is pretty good. What, I'm still looking at Norway. Trade. We make 45 steel, which is definitely probably one of the more important resources you could have. How long would it take for us to actually train up these new divisions? It's going to take us 256 days. Right now, we're not making any sport equipment, so of course that's going to take just an infinite amount of time. So to destroy the cult of the past. We will then... we'll just watch it all burn. We're going to kill 100 people, but I'm sure that's fine. Also, a lot of damage to infrastructure. Less than ideal, but at least damage automatically repairs, so it's not that big of a deal. If religion were true, its followers would not try to bludgeon their young with an artificial conformity, but would merely insist on their unbending quest for truth, irrespective of artificial backgrounds or practical consequences. Many falsely equate our movement to revive the Anglo spirit of America to the religious fundamentalism or occult mystics that have taken root in the darkest corner of our nation. Nicaragua, please. One moment. We'll get to you in a second. Their beliefs will ultimately betray our movement, and we must work diligently to utterly shatter any semblance of religious authority within our ranks and prevent these misguided simpletons from gaining too much power within our ranks. I'm glad that these finish pretty quickly. Hawaii has joined the Japanese. Peru's declared war in Ecuador. Things are popping off in the world right now. MacArthur is probably going to be losing soon. Have they lost Denver? I don't even know where Denver is. There it is. So they have lost Denver. The Rio Grande. I do notice that they've changed like the states around a little bit as well. But I mean, it depends on if MacArthur loses Washington. Of course, we want this war to be going on for as long as humanly possible. If they're fighting like 1941, 1942, that is completely a-okay. It depends on if the Canadians are planning on an intervention. They're getting eyes to the cells, which could be worrying. I mean, I probably would want to join a war against the CSA. How many troops does Canada even have? They have 18 divisions. That's really not what I would consider a good amount. Our master of the Kingdom of Canada need our help and call. Okay, we actually wouldn't even get a say in the war at all. So we're now just at war with India. But it did automatically remove all of our demilitarized zones, so I guess that's a positive. I'm just gonna delete all your orders, so I legitimately cannot see what's even happening here. So we go 1, 2, 3. And I guess you just prepare an invasion here. How many troops does CSA have? 38 to 184. It's not led by Jack Reed. It's led by William Haywood. I'm not too sure why they've made that decision, but I'm sure they probably have some reason. Chile and Argentina are at war. 50 political power. You know what? For the political power, we can actually get... We're the Princely Federation. Who's actually the aggressor? We're the attacker. Okay, so they're actually pushing their way in there. I don't really care about that too much, and I'm hoping the Canadians don't, I didn't say that the war succeeded already for Indochina. Anyways. You guys do whatever you want. I'm not too worried about that. I mean, the French are putting troops in our territory. I'm not even too sure why they're doing that. I mean, I'm not going to say more to more strength. Okay, Middle Africa has declared war on the Portuguese Empire. Not a huge surprise. Only following orders. Well, we'll look at that in a second. So, what Lovecraft's wisdom is without question among his officers, his penchant for reusing papers has created multiple conflicts. Direct orders from Providence have been dispatched to generals on scribbled out legal documents or penciled over the margins of previously sent commands. This has caused an embarrassing effect on troops being unable to interpret Lovecraft's seemingly nonsensical and contradictory orders due to them being muddled or lost in a sea of scribbles and edits around older messages. Do these make any difference? The first ones don't. Our officers will interpret his orders as they wish. Yeah, no, I mean, that doesn't seem like it seems like a bad, well, political power doesn't matter too much. Stability goes... I mean, the stability is, and war support's probably the worst one. Yeah, attack on Wednesday. Seems like good enough. I think we lost maybe the command power. I actually don't know which one we lost. But the fact that I can't tell which one we lost seems like a good enough sign to me. You're going to update the Enfield. So you have... I need to scroll over a little bit. Thank you. You could cross the border. Home of the free. You don't have a refugee crisis. Okay. I'm a little bit worried about going to war with the CSA for the obvious reason that's going to be fought on our front lines, which seems like it could cause some issues. But the new gods. In a search for truth, the hope of Zealot goes. But all the sadder turns, the more he knows, the current religious and mystical order in the Americas reveals not life lessons and guidance, but miserable platitudes that ultimately leave the soul... Middle Africa. But miserable platitudes that ultimately leave the soul unsatisfied. The Judeo-Christian God, as we know it, offers us no answers. Providence, anointed by the one true God, has seen a dark universe yawning, where the black planets roll without aim, where they roll in their horror, uneated, without knowledge, luster, or name. By studying the mythos and anthropomorphizing his character into the form of a called study, we can perhaps clean a small sliver of the endless dark vision. So we're going to remove Christian resistance, which is going to give us a 50% stability boost, which I think probably is like one of the biggest stability boosts you could possibly ever ask for. I mean, I guess you did take the 50% away first, so... Road integration with Canada. We will drive on the side of freedom. I don't know. I guess they changed the directions these cars drive in the Kaiserredux universe. They drive on the left instead of the right. I don't know why they would do that. It doesn't make any sense. But you know what? What do I know? What do I know? But I do know that I think there's going to be a good time for us to end this first episode. So thanks everyone for watching. If you've enjoyed, remember the thumbs up. Not enjoying, throw your thumb down. If you want to see more, subscribe. And goodbye.